Hello, welcome back to the channel. We left off in the last episode with me grinding away at trying to get all the underseal off. In this episode, we are going to talk through how far I've got with the grinding. And today we have in Resto Wagon to do the welding repairs that are required. So there will be a bit of footage of that as we go down the line. So first of all, what I'll do is I'll grab the camera and then I'll take you through what I've been up to since the last episode. So in the last episode, you saw me grinding the two rear wheel arches and starting the underside. So the two rear wheel arches and majority of the underside is done. Just a couple of more hard to reach areas where you can't get in with the angle grinder. So I'll need to get maybe like a heat gun and scraper to get those bits off. And the same story up in this corner up here, and a little bit around here. And then also, sorry, it's a bit dark, but also up in these areas here, and up in here as well. But apart from that, that's all of the sort of rear end done. All the floor has also been done, as you can see here and here. And then coming into the engine bay area, most of that is ground back. Still need to do or finalize this side. Up in this wheel arch, I've just got this little part left up here to sort out. And then this wheel arch is mainly done as well. So as you can see, I'm almost complete with getting all the underseal off. As I said earlier, we're going to have Resto Wagon come in today and start dealing with all the repairs. I've also decided that I'm just going to, all these holes that are not required and not needed for anything specific, instead of putting grommets back in them, I'm actually just going to have them all welded up, as more holes just allows for areas for rust to form. So I will be having most of those all welded up as the day goes on. So that's pretty much where we are for now. I'll bring you back once Resto Wagon is in and has been set up. And then we'll get some time lapse on some of the welding repairs. So I'll catch you in a bit. All right, so as promised, Mr. Resto Wagon is here, mobile welding up the chassis. Currently preparing a few discs in order to weld up the holes. So he's just popped them in the space there so they don't get lost. And creating the templates before cutting them out, and the welding actually starts. So once we've got a bit further down the line and we're ready to start welding, we'll get the camera set up in the old holder and get some time lapse going. Right, just before we get going, here's some of the templates ready to go. First one to go in is sitting on the welder. All the holes have been prepped and ground back, ready to be welded. All right, to give you guys a bit of a break from the old time lapse, just showing you a couple that have been done already. as we prepare the space. And now getting on to the more exciting stuff like that bad boy. So get you back in the stand for a bit more time lapse. Right, so I haven't been able to keep things updated this week as much as I'd like to because I was busy with other stuff. But we had Stuart come over from Westo Wagon and to do all of the welding work that needed to be done. So you would have seen some of them snippets earlier on in this episode. But I thought that now was a good time to update us to exactly where we are today. Yeah, just kind of show you how far I've got. So jumping straight into it, I think a little bit earlier in the episode there was still some of this left to be dealt with under here, but this arch is now complete. We are now off of the ramp and on a set of trestles as we prepare to start doing the next bit of work in finalizing and prepping for the what are we putting on for the primer. So yeah, all arches done, all the underside is done. Let me see, we've had welding works done and a bit of seam seal around them. Various holes that I no longer wanted or that were badly damaged, I've just had welded up and seam sealed as shown there. A couple under there as well. In the fewer harder to get places, finally managed to get those cleared out, mainly of the underseal. And the same in this back corner here, which was a lot harder. Still a tiny little bit left, which is not focusing. Yep, there you go. So just that tiny little bit left there to get, and then we are all the underseal off. I already started masking up the little studs. Ready for the primer. Another one of the repairs that was done on this side. And you may remember there was that little bit in the back here that needed to be dealt with. Again, that's been done. So yeah, we're pretty much ready to get off the final bits of underseal. Now it's off the ramp. I can get into these corner bits here, up the front there, and here, and that bit there as well. Gonna weld in some strips in here to assist as a jacking point, so it's a bit stronger, so that they don't just fold up on themselves. Oh, there's another one that was welded up here, and a bit of underseal. Sorry, not underseal, sorry, seam sealer to protect them. So yeah, all the holes along the sides there that had grommets in before, got rid of them all, welded them up. Again, bit of seam sealer, so that they're protected. So I'm gonna jump underneath here and get those last bits wire wheeled off. And then it's all in preparation now to wiping down all the panels and getting ready to move into the next step of getting the underseal on. So might just pop the camera back in for a bit of time lapse while I grind off the underseal for the last time, hopefully. You guys who are watching and following along, how many hours did it take me to grind back all the underseal? How did I do it? What would be my advice if someone else wanted to do it? So I think I've put in about 25 to 30 hours in grinding back all the underseal. It's not a task that should be taken on lightly. It's definitely a task. So the particular tools used are lined out here for you. Oh, actually, I'm lying. Let's quickly grab these as well. Okay, so initially I bought 2 of these and 2 of these, and I also bought a handful of these as well. Unfortunately, I found these to be not that good. It's not strong enough, and just kind of moved the underseal in circles, heating it up and not really removing it from the car. So quickly got rid of that. And then we moved on to one of these. So this was a cup version. Obviously this one's been a bit used, as you can see. So this one done pretty well. I used it for quite a bit of the rear wheel arch. I got quite far along, but then I realized again, it just seemed to be turning it in a circle, not really coming off and just sort of heating and spreading itself. So I got rid of that. And then in came this style. Now, I found this style to be the best for me. This was able to take off the underseal really quick, well, a lot quicker than the others. Wasn't so much heating it up and spreading it around. It was actually flicking it off the car. So I bought a load of these off eBay, and yeah, just cracked on with that. So that tool, or this fitting, is what I used mainly to do the car. And then in the smaller crevices, so once you'd kind of got off the main areas, some like corners, not this particular corner, but it was right in the corner, you couldn't get these parts in there. So then I used this and this to just get into those corners and get the last bit out. The 2 bits on the rear that I said that I managed to get out in here, this was a task in itself. So this I used a chisel, a screwdriver, sorry it's not focusing, a chisel, a screwdriver and a heat gun to get those bits out, and the same up here. That's why you can see that stuff here is not quite all off as much as like these pits, because it's just a lot harder to get to. Since getting this far, I have seen that you can get a flexible extension for the angle grinder. So I'll be getting one of those to just finalize a few bits, and that should hopefully help clean it up like the rest of it. And then here in these corners here, this is what I'm referring to, using the bits in the drill. So as you can see in that corner and in those corners, all nice and shiny. And still a little bit left to get in that one as well. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Here's something else worth noting. So on the Audi S3, we used to have a bar that went all the way across here, or a tube that connected the two side mount intercoolers. One would sit around here and one would sit around here. Obviously that's no longer required because we are using a front mount intercooler now. But for that bar to bolt up, it used to have this extra piece here. I think that was there. And then there's a bit that went up to here. This actually needed cutting out and capping off, which still needs to be ground down, so that there was clearance for the AC pump, or in my case, the power steering pump, as it's been relocated into that position. So I thought that I would show this, as it's the only bit that needs clearance in order to have the engine in the car fully. Right, I thought I'd actually save you the pain of having to watch me grind out the spaces, but there they are, all ground, ready to roll. This one needs a bit of work. And now we're moving on to these strengthening plates, about 3 mil thick. Gonna get welded into these spots here. And these will be stronger jacking points to stop it all folding on itself. Hopefully that will do the trick. So I will hand this back over to Stuart to continue doing what he's doing, and I'll bring you back once it's all welded in. All right, we've managed to get a few in already. So there's one there, one up there. Getting that focus. Up. One in there, and then we're gonna do this last one. So I'll get you a little bit of a video footage of this happening. Right, it's been a couple of weeks since the last clip where Stuart was finishing up welding the strengthening plates for the seals. They're all completed, seam sealed up, left to dry, got caught up in other things, so that's the delay in between the last clip and today. As you can see, it's now back on the ramp. Strengthening plates are doing awesome. The bit that we needed to cap off on the front chassis leg, that's been capped off and ground back, all ready to go. So in the next episode, we'll be looking to get the rust treatment on, getting the panel wiped, all the panels wiped down with panel wipe, getting the vehicle completely masked off, ready for primer. So please join me in the next episode. Like, share, subscribe, all that wonderful stuff. And I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.